All right, here we go. In three, two, one. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me, as always, is Eric, Nathaniel, and Matt. I wasn't reading the script this time, so yeah. Even though it says Robert down there on the bottom, it is actually Matt.
Robert.
I'm the strange guy that's not permanent enough to get his own name tag yet. So it's kind of like, we'll just give you his uniform.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Just wear his...
You should just put a tag below him on the stream that says, "This is not Robert."
Yeah, just put like a generic little window that just looks like a sticker over his name. I don't know. I know a guy. We might be able to get something that has his name on it, so we could.
I'll whip up something that looks like masking tape with Sharpie on it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I know. It's like I say, I know a guy who does graphic design that can do something.
Robert 2.0.
And the best thing is, in OBS, you could just layer that on there, so it's not even like you change your original image.
Right?
Just, add a couple
flip
more.
It back. Yeah, just flip it back and forth. So.
And you can just put it over your face. It'll be great.
It'll be great. Just put it over your face. It'll be great.
Just one soul teardrop.
Yeah. Where's that Indian that was crying on the commercials with all the trash? That's what. Oh, that was funny. It's funny because it was true. That's why it's funny.
Because it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Oh, all right. Well, let's start off with talking about what we always do, what we've been playing. I'm going to start off because I've been playing the same old thing, Shenmue and Yakuza 6. I'm actually probably going to write my Yakuza 6 review this week while I've got time before it comes out. But yeah, I've been doing live streams of Shenmue on the Twitch page last week. I really haven't had much time to do it this week. Thought about maybe doing it tonight, but a lot of it depends on what's going on after we get done recording. So, but yeah, I mean, it's Shenmue and it's Yakuza. It's two games that are an awful lot alike, but very different. So, same premise, but one's. I tell you though, Yakuza just looks so good, and the fighting feels so much better in this one. It's like I wish they would have done this with 5 and 3.
Well, I mean, especially if you're comparing Yakuza 6 with the original Shenmue, there's a graphical difference there too.
Yeah, that's true too.
So it makes it look even better.
Yeah, no, I'm comparing that with the Yakuza 5 or Yakuza 0. It had the leveling system is really good. There's stupid, crazy stories, and you've got a baby this time, so that's always a fun thing.
The baby goes with you and helps you fight. You're whipping it around.
Apparently you got
another one. Dual-wielding babies.
Yeah. Apparently there is some parts of it where you have the baby and you're carrying it around and it gets knocked out of your arms and you have real-time events that you have to catch him or something like that. I haven't got that far in there, but
and that big disclaimer at the bottom: no babies were harmed.
Yeah, no babies were harmed in the filming of this game.
Wait, did we say this was Yoshi Island 2?
That'd be great. But yeah, I was really surprised I finally found my VGA HDMI adapter that would allow me to do a Shenmue stream, because the one that I was doing was not. I'm really surprised how nice it looks in the OBS. If you go back and look at the videos on the Twitch page, it really looks nice upscaled to 720. I'm quite impressed with it. It's a little dark, but nothing that OBS can't add a little... or the Elgato can add a little brightness to, but that game still holds up, even with its little quirkiness. It still holds up pretty well. So Nathaniel, what have you been playing? I hear you've been playing Warframe. That's what I see every time I'm on Discord. I see Polygon Wizard is playing Warframe. I'm like, okay.
I've played a little bit more of Ni no Kuni 2 since the last podcast, enough to kind of get the second section of my kingdom and do a few more quests, but not that much, because I've been distracted by playing Warframe, because it's easy to just get lost in there just grinding stuff, because you don't have to pay too much attention to it.
Yeah, I can see
just
that.
Like, hey, Space Ninja, I'm going to go around and chop things up and shoot them with machine guns. Woohoo!
I like chopping things up with machine guns.
Well, I started out with a bow, and so I was doing all more stealthy bow and arrow stuff, and it's really good if you have medium to lower level guys.
Yeah.
You get a headshot on them, they're just insta killed, and plus it has puncture on it, so it could go through multiple enemies. So that was fun for a while, but then I was finally able to get enough materials and got some blueprints and built a couple new things.
Cool.
So I got a machine gun that shoots bolts that go through people.
All right then. Well.
And I got a new sword, but it's pretty much like the old sword. I'm in the process of building a new Warframes suit thing, so I'll have a new one of those to try out.
Yeah.
And I've got dual swords that I am building currently, so that'll be fun too.
Now it is free to play, right? Isn't it free?
Yep.
So
Warframe is free to play,
Yeah, that's what I
so
thought.
I've paid absolutely $0 for this game so far.
I played
There's
some of it
plenty
on
of
PS4.
good.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's plenty of stuff you can buy in there. So a lot of the stuff you can either buy a Warframe, with the currency that's like the real money currency.
Yeah.
You can also get it through trading. If you trade people, they could give you that currency for it, but I haven't really done any of that. But you can also then get the blueprints for just the in-game regular currency that you earn through playing. And then with that, you have to usually get like a few different parts, and you have to farm to get those. So you have to build a few parts, then you put those parts together with the blueprint. And you spent lots of currency and materials and crafted it.
Yeah.
It takes a long time because the shorter things, like a weapon, will usually take 12 to 24 hours. Each piece of like the Warframe I'm building, there was 12 hours per of the 3 pieces I needed, and then the overall one when I put together was like 72.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So, I mean, that's real time. So once you started, it's like when you can come back that time later. But in the meantime, you're still grinding out missions, and the way it works is you kind of have like a planet with a bunch of different nodes on it, and they each have different mission types. And then at certain points when you meet different requirements, you have actual like story quests that you can do that they'll go on same locations, but it's different stuff happening in there than just default missions. So like each planet has a few different materials that drop there more often than other places, or just that's the only place they get. You get some from enemies, some from little things that you gather when you're in the levels that show up randomly. There's so many different materials and stuff in that game. That's what happens, I guess, after 5 years or something it's existed, that they keep adding stuff to it. And I keep getting notifications for all these event things going on in the new open world section they added somewhere late last year.
I'm like, hey, come join. You're like, I'm
I'm here.
I've gone there once, but I'm like, I'm still going through all the planets. I want to do all this stuff so I can build better stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm mastery level 3. That's kind of like your accounts level. So every time you're leveling up a weapon or crafting a new thing, getting XP, that all feeds into your main account XP level, I guess. And that takes a long time to level up because it's, every time you're filling up like a gun or your armor or anything like that goes up to level 30 max rank.
It's crazy.
For XP, and then you can continue powering it up by putting on better mods and stuff, because you can socket in different mods on there that'll give you better puncture damage, or a bigger clip of ammo, or more shields, more health, that kind of stuff. And then all of those little things that you socket in, you can upgrade those so that you're better, but then they take more energy to put in there, and there's all sorts of different stuff that is in-game level that I'm not ready for, having only played 35 hours of Warframe, which is nothing.
Yeah. Apparently that is nothing. Yeah.
So the mastery rank for my account is 3, and I don't know how high that goes up, but they have a lot of the blueprints for stuff that you can build are locked behind that, so you can't get them until you're such and such mastery rank.
Gotcha.
And at least the first few, they add a few things as you go. So with 3, I just got the syndicates, which are kind of like factions and stuff for like a Destiny or something like that, where you can build your rep with them. But these 3 are, friendly with each other, but these other 3 hate them, and there's these interconnections. So it's like if you're supporting one while you're doing missions, another one is going up at half rate, and another one is going down at full rate.
Oh gosh.
So it's like this little weird balance of someone's always going to probably hate you, and then a few other ones you built up your rep so you can get the cool stuff from them.
Now,
and when a faction hates you, apparently they sent death squads after you, because I was reading up on it just because I was like, oh, what's this new thing?
Oh, Death Squad's awesome.
Yay!
So does PlayStation and PC play together, or are they separate?
No. I have no idea.
Because it's not on Xbox, I don't think. I think it's only on PC and PS4, if I remember right.
Yeah, I don't know about Xbox, but I don't know if they play together or not. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But I have no idea for sure.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering. But
And
anyway.
I'm being weird because I've played it solo this whole time too. I haven't done any.
Well, that was my other
matchmaking.
question: if you had played it with buddies, or if you were just playing by yourself.
I might start doing some public matchmaking on these certain mission types where there's these limited time of kind of map things come up that are called Void Fisher levels, and they still have like the main kind of mission types, so they can all be different. But then they have these Void Fissures that show up, and then it modifies, corrupts enemies and stuff, and get these little relics that look like cabbages in the graphic, like brown cabbages. They're basically like a loot Pokeball. So you go into the only way you can open them is to go into these Void Fissure levels where these like weird portal things open up and gather like 10 of this specific energy that only shows up in those levels. And then once you do that, it'll randomly pick one of like 6 things that are inside this little relic, and they're each different rarity drop, and it's all like some of the cooler gear parts that you can get. So
it's a terrible name. It sounds like a disease, a void fissure. Oh, my belly hurts. I have a void fissure. Oh.
Well, the void is an area in the game. The void is an area in the game, and you can go do stuff in void missions that are not those. But yeah. Portals or rips in space-time or something that are opening up in the level while you're playing.
Yeah. It just
that
sounds...
just basically it's like, hey, it's an excuse to have slightly different enemies and another random material drop type thing, because there's so many different things in one frame. I've barely scratched the surface of it, and I still have a ton of stuff. It's crazy.
It sounds like it. It sounds like there's tons of stuff
I've
to do.
maxed out my starting frame, and I've maxed out bow, 2 swords, and then I'm close to maxing out my pistol. It's a couple levels away, and then I've got.
I'm just impressed that you played this solo. Have you ever with anybody, like go up with any of your friends or anything, or just?
No, I have a bunch of friends who used to play Warframe, and because I've been playing it, then tempting them to download it again.
Yeah, I hear ya. It's like Battlefield. I got back into Battlefield 1 because a couple of my friends were like, it's on sale, and we started playing it. You should jump back in. I'm like, okay. Like, oh, look at all this cool new content. New vehicles, new maps. What I mean?
Yeah, one of my friends literally said, I'm thinking about downloading it just so I could see all my cool stuff. That took a long time to get. Yeah. I mean, there's so much stuff that you can get over time, and then some of the stuff I think you have to probably just buy because it's currency only, but I can't tell because there's just so much stuff in there. But you can get different color palettes for all of your stuff. You can get, different skins, all sorts of things that you don't need, but are cool.
I'm pretty sure on the PS4 they gave out currency at random times. There's some gifts people.
Well, if you were a PlayStation Plus member, I know you got some stuff because every couple months they would add something, because I would just throw it on my account. Even though I wasn't playing the game, it's like, I'll just throw it on there. It's free, PlayStation Plus, blah, 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 like I always do.
Twitch Prime has had some stuff for Warframe before in the past too, but they don't currently, which makes me sad.
Oh, that's
like, hey, one of these free-to-play games that I never play that I see on Twitch Prime all the time, I'm like, oh, hey, I don't play that. And then I get into one, and it's like, nope, we're not doing Warframe at the moment. Come on.
This is bullcrap.
It's kind of funny because it's like, I don't know, it's very, very, very it's a very grindy game. There's just so much stuff. It just takes lots and lots of time to do, but it's really fun because the movement system and the combat in it is really good.
Just press spacebar for fun. Just
press spacebar for fun.
No, it's not that. It's more in depth than just press spacebar for fun. It's one of the keys that you press. But
it's not like Warcraft where you have 3 buttons. They always said mages were fun, but you had 3 buttons.
No, like for the movement part is like described it last time I think too. But you crouch to slide, and then you jump out of that, and will like sort of torpedo yourself off, and then you can do a second jump, and then you can do a little roll out of that, and then you can chain them together. And depending on where you're aiming, you can launch yourself up in the air just across the map, and then you can get behind a guy and stab him with your sword.
Yeah.
Ha! Or you can get your extremely loud bolt gun that's just like and then everybody knows you're there, and the alarms go off. You're like, dang it!
If there was a 3D Sonic game, these would be the perfect movement controls for it. I feel like.
Yeah, it could be.
Because
It'd be
it's
more
just very
complicated
fast and dippy and divey, and like you just feel like a space ninja. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic would never use the controls because they're way too in depth for what Sonic would want to be. For like all the kiddies would try to play it and be like, or well, that's what they would think anyway. I'm sure some kids would just love it because it'd give them something to actually master. But
Yeah.
they'd just
A buddy
play
of
one of
mine
these
would
free-to-play
love it.
games anyway.
Yeah, I know a buddy of mine would love it.
One of the other cool things I unlocked was the Arc Wing, which is like a set of wing things that go on your back that let you fly in space, and then it's kind of like a shooter, and you're going around shooting things, but you're also meleeing, so it's like Gundam almost. It's great.
Oh, Gundam. Love Gundam.
Flying around, dodge asteroids, shoot the enemies. There's very few of those levels, but when I found them, I'm like, ooh, fun.
Keep talking about it. I'm going to end up downloading it and trying it out on Steam and probably regret it. Because I'll get sucked in.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Download.
It's pretty fun. It took a while to kind of get the movement system kind of down. I'm still not, an expert at it.
Right.
Compared to people who've been playing for thousands of hours, but I can do pretty good.
That's cool.
Some of the mission types I've found like the two of them that are a little harder to do single player, because there's like a survival like defense one where you have a thing that you're defending from waves of enemies, and if the level is a little too high, you're like, oh hey, just a regular mission I'm going through, I could do these. But if they're coming at you in waves and you're trying to defend the thing, it's really hard.
Yeah, I bet.
And then there's another one that's kind of like capture the flag, that there's little control points that you have to do. If you're doing that by yourself, it's doable but hard.
But the interesting thing, so I've played a little bit of it, but like I thought the most interesting thing about the wave defense was everybody can vote to leave at any like 5-level interval, and those are the rewards you get. So if you're like, nope, I'm done, I only want to get to level 5, you and your buddy could split and leave the other 2 people there, and they can keep going to get the even better rewards, or everybody can keep going.
Yeah.
But if you die, you get nothing.
Because those are one of the few quote-unquote endless mission types where you can just keep kind of going with it, and you get better rewards as you go. There's like a survival one where you're just like, hey, kill all the enemies as you go, but the environment's toxic, so you have to go to these like little points for like air or whatever that'll give you, and they only show up every so often, so you have to kind of stretch your time. And then very rarely enemies will also drop small versions of that, so that you kind of keep your air going, and the longer that you last, the better your loot at the end will be.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So most of those are usually kind of in stages, even though it's like maybe it's based on time or it's based on waves. It's all like, okay, the first one you get kind of like low level whatever loot. The second, if you like go to the second tier, it's still low level loot. If you get to the third one, it's like medium. You get to the fourth, it's like really good kind of loot. So the longer that you go, the better stuff you get.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah,
it sounds
really fun game.
Yeah, it really sounds fun, and I need to try it.
And it's cool the way it's going, that they keep introducing kind of like new enemies within the different factions or enemy factions that you're going through. So there's still kind of only like 3 or so that I've run into, but they keep getting new, tougher enemies show up as I level up. And as I move further in, it's like, oh, hey, I haven't seen that one before. Oh, that thing's annoying because it has a special weird, area of effect on it that nullifies my shields. And it's like, better kill them fast if you're in a group of enemies or you're going to die.
That's cool, though. I mean, it sounds like an awesome game. I really need to try to play it. I just haven't. I got so many other things to play. It's like, I hate to start.
I mean, I have other things that I could play, but I got sucked into this one.
Yeah,
so
and that's what
I'll be playing it for a little while.
Well, and that's why I say I'm afraid to even start it, because I'm afraid I'll get sucked into it, and then it's like, But it doesn't matter. It all happened, everything anyway. So if it's not that game, it's something else. So
yeah, it doesn't matter if you're playing something and enjoying it. Who
yeah,
cares?
It doesn't. It's just I always have other games that I really need to. I need to get to. I need to finish. So But what else you been playing? Anything else? Or you said Ni no Kuni. That's right. You said Ni no Kuni. I forgot.
A little bit of Ni no Kuni that was like right after last podcast, and then I've been doing Warframe pretty much since. It's like, hey, I should do some Ni no Kuni. Now the text on the TV hurts my eyes after a bit. I'm gonna go be a space ninja.
Hey, space ninjas are cool. So, Matt, what have you been playing? I know you streamed some Overwatch the other night. I think I popped in for a little while.
I haven't been playing a lot of video games recently. It's just been kind of a slow 2 weeks for me.
Yeah.
But some D&D again, some Overwatch, and a little bit of. I just blanked on the name of it. Breath of the Wild. There we go. That's the word.
I was going to say, it was probably something really cool and really big name that you forgot.
Just like,
what's that game? It's something wild.
It's got Zeldon in it, something
it's like that. Have you ever seen the video of that old lady? It's asking her kid, what's that guitar game? It's called something Hero.
Man.
I haven't.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was a little old lady. There's some kind of guitar game. It's called something Hero. I don't know.
It's Rock Band, Grandma. God.
But anyway, so Overwatch and Breath of the Wild.
I'm trying to think if there's anything. Overwatch, they're doing their big special event here in a couple days.
I saw something about that.
So they're taking what they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
The way I understand it is they're doing what they're doing last year, which was like a wave defense kind of thing, and then escort the payload. And basically, it was PvE with a little bit of lore behind it.
Yeah.
And they're expanding on that and adding a second scenario to that, to where you're like the Blackwatch, which is like rogue ops kind of thing, where they're like clandestine agents, and they're like, don't tell us what you do, just like get it done. And so it's apparently one of their missions that you're doing, and so they're doing a couple skins and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw some kind of package thing or something. I just saw it in passing rolling through Twitter or something like that. There was some kind of package, $20, was it 20? I don't know. Some kind of package of something with some skins and some things in it. So I figured that's what you were talking about.
Maybe. But also, like, they're pushing a lot on the Twitch front for their Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Which it baffles me that they are making so much money off of that. But like people are just like burning money on this.
That's crazy.
I was looking at it the other night, and the Twitch now has leaderboards. So like if you're here in the chat, you can see it at the top there. There's no one on ours because woo. But on theirs, they actually have like crazy fans, and some of those people were throwing like $500-$800 at it.
Holy crap!
And this is a weekly leaderboard, which means like every week people are bidding that much.
Jeez.
I remember, I think at the end of stage 1 they had raised like almost $200,000 through Twitch cheering and bids.
Wow.
And that was end of January, I think. Like each stage.
That's nuts.
How about you guys go spend that money on something that actually needs it? Blizzard's doing all right.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh. Activision's just sitting back there going, well, let's see. I'm going to cut a check to...
and the sad thing is, like, speaking of Activision and, to flog this dead horse, I feel like Destiny could totally have been riding the coattails of Overwatch's Twitch stuff had people still cared about Destiny.
Yeah.
That requires them to not make everyone angry every time they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
We hear you, community. You want to kill people faster, so
we're going to make you run.
Ammo.
Yeah, and we're going to make you run faster when you're super.
That's not what we're asking for.
What? That's what somebody was like. They were so excited because, oh, this update's come out. We got to play it. I'm like, what's it do? It makes you run faster when you do your super. What else does it do?
If you want something kind of like Destiny, but better, play Warframe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when you were sitting there talking.
It's in space, and except you're cooler than you are in Destiny because you can do ninja stuff. You can't jump and fly around quite the same way as in Destiny as you can in Warframe.
I tell you what.
If you like feeling
Destiny's
powerful,
still fun, but Warframe's better. If
you like feeling powerful, you go Warframe. If you like the tight, not lethargic, but like plodding kind of gunplay, I think you go Division. From what I've heard,
I liked the Division. I liked it a lot. I liked the single player or the co-op story thing. I liked that a whole lot. Ghost Recon Wilds is or Wildlands or whatever it's called. It seems to be doing pretty good. I didn't put in the notes about the year 2 stuff, but they're like doing a Sam Fisher.
Yeah, it's like the only reason I care about that is that they have Sam Fisher with the original voice, meaning maybe we'll get a Splinter Cell game for real this time.
That'd be cool. But I liked Wildlands. I just didn't. It wasn't fun to play by myself, but I could never get on when my friends were playing, so it kind of was like, But I mean, they even did a Predator thing where you could hunt Predator for a limited time and stuff like that. It was so they're doing some cool stuff over there. It's just a shame. I was just looking back through my text messages. We were talking about Destiny. I sent a text message to one of the guys one time and went, I'm trying to see how much it was. It was something ridiculous how cheap Destiny 2 had gotten at one place. It was under $20. It's like, but anyway, go ahead, man. I totally just.
No, you're good. I'm just like I've spent way more money than I should have on Destiny 2.
I spent $100. I spent $100 on it.
Well, I got the medium edition, so like a couple of the fancy like bleep blobs. For the Xbox One for like $100.
Yeah, I got the collectors for $100.
And then like a month later, or like in a month is about how much time it takes for you to realize, there's not a lot more to this game.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% convinced they timed it on purpose now, and it wasn't on. It was 100% malicious on their end. I can't say that like 100%, but it's like it's too much of a coincidence that it's like exactly 1 month, which is exactly how much content they had, which is exactly when the PC edition came out. So they had enough.
Which is what I played.
Yeah,
and it was fun. I bought the regular version. I played it my time, and that was it.
I mean, I liked the story and the single player stuff, and the co-op stuff was fine. But man, after it was over in like 5 hours, it was kind of like, well, it's kind of the same game again. It's
you had like 1 month of content, and that's it. Which was kind of the opposite of what Destiny 1 problems was, which was it's too hard to get all the content because the drop rates are so annoying.
Yeah. I mean, the time I put in just to get a Galahorn was ridiculous. When guys
they'll work on it for a long time, and then they'll 3 out, and it'll be completely infuriating in a completely new way.
Yeah, probably.
I think when 3 drops, not if, when, because we all know it's coming.
Yeah.
I think they've
They
all
made
been
enough money. It'll be coming at some point.
But I'm 100% not buying that game for like 2 months.
I'm probably not buying it day one either.
Yeah, and I did the same thing with Far Cry, because I was like, I want Far Cry, but big budget games have gotten to the point where it's like, I want to see the complaints about them first before I commit that, like,
especially with Destiny now. They need to do something very different for the third one and not just the same thing again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
there's some differences between 1 and 2, but they're pretty much the same game for the most part.
Yeah,
overall.
they really are.
Unless they're going to switch things up and actually change some stuff in the third one and in a good way, then just keep playing the previous 2 games.
Well, yeah.
I think
already out.
I think it would be okay if they were to drop the same game again if it like fixed everything and they're like, look, we're legitimately going to like just start dropping story missions. Like we'll give you 1 story mission a month.
Well, March Let's say again, Nathaniel. You kind of cut out there. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said they won't get any new people with doing the same game again, and then it'll just keep going downhill. Even they'll have your hardcore people who will still play it, but it won't last very long because of that, because you won't have that continued player base.
Monday, March 12th at 4:35 p.m. The Destiny 2 on Amazon was $10.81 for a physical copy.
Ouch!
That means they're just sitting in the warehouse. They're just sitting in the warehouses, burning up space at this point.
Yeah,
they're probably it might pull an ET. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll just take it out.
It'll just vanish. It'll just We'll all get what is that new game that Activision is coming out with? Or not? Is it Activision? The one that's kind of supposed to be like Destiny with the
Anthem.
Anthem.
That's
BioWare.
BioWare. That's right. Yeah, BioWare.
Yeah.
We'll all peel off our stickers on the Anthem games, and they'll actually be Destiny underneath. They just borrowed the discs and repurposed them for.
And then we can have Activision versus Electronic Arts real-life war.
Let's be honest. It's just EA. We peel off the stickers, we open the case, and it's just a credit card reader. And it's like this. Look, it's a third-party controller. Just like plug it into the USB and start. Complete level 1, complete level 2, complete level 3. Done. Like.
That'd be hilarious. Oh, I'd die. But yeah, Destiny. Yeah. There's some people that still, even my buddies who are hardcore into Destiny, 5, 6. Well, I had 600 hours in the first one. They had over 1,000, and even they have played Destiny 2 for a little while and kind of went, man, I'm done. I'm like,
Warframe.
Yeah.
But Destiny 2
it'll scratch some of those same itches. It's still this weird
don't be a pusher
thing. It's a different kind of variety than what
get your drugs out of here.
It's a different variety than what Destiny is, but it's got enough similarities that if you like Destiny, it'd be worth giving Warframe a try.
Yeah, and that's what the way you talk about it. It's like, yeah, maybe I ought to give that a shot and see what it's like. I never really sat down. I think I downloaded it when it came out on PS4, but I never really sat down and like
watch a couple of YouTube beginner Warframe videos first. It will probably help you a lot better than just trying to jump in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, just jump in. Enjoy the chaos while you can. Because it is like you're starting out and you're just like, bonk, bonk.
I don't understand what's going on here. I hate this game.
Yeah. And you're like, why do people play this? And then like the moment you like chain your first jump together, you're like, oh. It's a whole new game.
The little light bulb comes on, and I get that. Cool. So, Eric, you have a list. I see a list.
I do. It is very, very large because I was last show. So
yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot you weren't you? You were going.
Yeah. So about half the stuff is probably from a couple weeks ago, but I'll make it quick.
You're fine. Take your time.
Let's start with most interesting. I'll start with the least interesting. So I was talking to the guys earlier, or talking before the show, but I got an N64 in trade recently, and so I busted out a couple N64 games to, test the system. Good way to test the joysticks is, play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and see how well you can do the tricks.
Yeah.
Whoever decided to use the C buttons as the options for doing the tricks, I was like, ah!
Oh, wait, let me pull out my N64 controller here that has nice big C buttons right here.
I have one of those too, but that was for me to test the controller.
I know,
and so I played Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk actually is, I know it hasn't exactly aged well, but it still was fun to play. Yeah. I played Turok too, and after like 10 minutes, I was like, yeah, no, forget it.
Yeah. And they're remastering Turok and bringing them back out, and it's like...
Maybe they'll keep the fog. Making a face. Let's see. I played some stuff on the Wii. I played some stuff on the Wii as well. I played Sin and Punishment for the first time. I've had this game for a very long time. Never played it. I got it when it was going up in price.
Yeah.
So it was rare. Now it's very common. You can get it from GameStop if you can find it for under $10. It's good.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Very interesting shooter. I highly recommend playing with the Wiimote and the I almost said Joy-Con. That's not right. Wiimote and the nunchuck, because you have to move your character and move the reticle to aim at the same time. So it's good. It's fun.
I can't remember if that's one of the games on the Wii U that you don't have to use the Wiimote. I can't remember. I have to look that up because some of them you don't have to if you buy the Wii digitally. Yeah, you buy them digitally
cool.
on there. So
Could be interesting. I played Oregon Trail for Wii a little bit more. That game is garbage. Do not buy it.
my wife has it on 3DS and likes it.
It is very expensive. Buy it.
I don't understand.
Even at GameStop, it's $30. Amazon $30. eBay $50+.
I don't understand that. I just
not
don't
that
understand that. It's weird.
NBA Jam, played some more of that. Played Manhunt 2. I can't recommend Manhunt 2 on the Wii because of the motion controls.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I gave up after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll just get on something else. I played some Switch stuff. Played Mario Kart. I played a little bit of Cave Story. I thought I was really gonna like Cave Story, but
really, I loved Cave Story.
Cave Story takes a little bit to get going.
Yeah,
I'll revisit it another time. I did play Azure Striker Gunvolt. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah,
I played 1 and 2.
I picked
Holy cow, it's a fun game.
Yeah, I picked that up a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if that's. I have to look online and see. I don't know if that's a short print on the Switch or what, but it took me forever to find it. I ended up having to get it when I was working out of town somewhere because none of the stores around here had it in stock, and Amazon kept selling out of it. So
I tried the demo on 3DS. It's like, okay, this is kind of cool, and I was like, wait, they got this on the Switch and $23 used. I'm gonna get it. And I got it, and I was like, oh, it's so cool. Reminds me, it gets like a Mega Man vibe.
Yeah,
Mega Man X, Mega Man X2. It's fun. I played it for like an hour.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Played some more Death of the Outsider. I'm having a very tough time getting back to that game and trying to finish it. I need to though, so that I can
How
stash
far
it.
into it are you?
The 3rd chapter. I know there's not very many. So
yeah, you finished that one. I think you have one more after that, and then you're done.
It's not bad. I miss some of the powers that I had in the first chunk of the game. Trust me, but it's not bad. It's fun.
Yeah, this one is all about like, okay, we're going to limit your powers, but you don't have to get
you don't have your mana
stuff, so that you can use them more often and in more creative ways.
I should just give up on being stealthy and just be like, let's kill everything. But I like the stealthy thing, and I did really well in the first game, or Dishonored 2. So I was like, I'll try to keep doing this. It just takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1.
The reason I played it not stealthy is because the character that you play in Death of the Outsider is a lot more
stealth tougher.
There's more of an excuse to the stabby.
I just might
for
do
a while,
that.
but then it was kind of like, there's no way I'm being through here.
I just might do that. get the ending that's not favorable, and then just watch the other one. Call it good.
So
because I finished Dying Light recently. All the DLC. I finished the following, and you get to a point where you get to pick what ending you're going to get, and it's not like Deus Ex where Human Revolution where you can go back and be like, I want to do that ending. Nah, this is cutoff point, and then there's it's like great. So I just watched the other Dying Light ones.
Yeah, it's not like you stabby like the stabbing robot from Futurama.
Yeah. With a high pitched noise.
I gotta practice my stabbing. Yeah. He was my favorite. I loved that thing. I forget what his name was.
Me too, but it's funny.
I gotta practice my stabbing. Yeah.
He's like going toward Fry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you bleed.
Yeah.
I finally started Horizon Zero Dawn. I finally started. I got about into it. I will definitely be playing more of it. I just gotta, squeeze it into everything else.
Yeah, I need to get back into that. That's a really cool game.
Yeah, and Battlefield 1, I haven't played that much. Maybe 10 hours. I'm already like level 60. I'm doing really well. So the new maps are a lot of fun, and I've been playing with some other guys on PS4.
That's cool.
So we get together in a squad. And
yeah,
it makes it easy. Let's see. Oh, I did play Star Fox 64 for 3DS. What did I buy? I bought something a couple weeks ago from GameStop. Oh, I know what it was. Aliens Infestation for DS. Bought it online from GameStop. Why'd you get one sale? It came. I plugged it into my DS and it didn't work. I plugged it in my 3DS. It didn't work. I looked at the contacts. They are all nasty and corroded. Cleaned it a little bit. Tried it again. Nothing.
It's funny that you say that. The Mega Man X game that I got was all kind of nasty and corroded on the inside, and I cleaned it like I clean all my other games. Still wasn't working real well. And look, the whole thing just went crazy. We lost Nathaniel, so everything. Oh, there we go. Now everything's back to normal.
I thought you were going to tell me that you took a hammer to it in frustration.
No. And what I did was, last night I was actually watching a video of something else, and somebody said that they used vinegar to clean contacts on games, and they just soaked it for a couple hours. So I took my chip out and went upstairs and just soaked the pins in vinegar for about 2.5 hours. Popped it out, popped it in the Super NES before we recorded. Works like a champ.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Who would have thought that vinegar would have done that? But
I'll put it in the future. Anyway, I rebought it. It's coming. But when I returned this locally, and the best they could do, since it was part of the buy two get one sale, I already returned stuff. The return was funny because I should have returned all 3 games. So
right.
This one,
yada
yada.
When you return buy two get one, it turns into a
3.
mess. Yeah.
But they said, hey, just swap it for something that's close priced. We'll figure it out. So I picked up Star Fox. I've been looking for that for a while. I hadn't really seen it. It's fun.
I love to play it on the 3DS. It's actually really, really good.
It's really well.
Yeah.
It works fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably easier to play than the N64.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree with that. Yeah, I liked it on the 3DS a lot. So cool.
Yeah, so that's about it. I just been keeping plenty busy. I've been picking up lots of cool stuff. I forgot to mention I bought a PS3 today. $20. I'm looking for one because I have a big stack of PlayStation 3 games. They're not worth very much. I want to get rid of them. They're all common stuff. And I'm like, if I can sell it with a cheap system, maybe I can get some money. Guy said, hey, I got one for $20. No video. No power cable. He's like, video doesn't work. I can tell you the system worked like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Powered on, worked fine. Guess what I did? I reset the video. Worked just fine.
Oh, cool. So, there you go.
It's probably... Awesome. I was like, cool, and then I formatted it because I didn't want to be that guy that gives it to somebody with a bunch of junk on it.
So that guy had the weird issue where the PlayStation 3s would like hold on to the higher resolutions or whatever. It couldn't like figure out how to take it lower.
Maybe.
Probably.
I don't know. Maybe he got a new TV and it went from AV to HDMI or vice versa. I don't know what the exact scenario is, but I've seen it do that. When I've had to tinker with them, and I remember when I traded one into Best Buy and the guy couldn't figure out how to get it to switch back to HDMI. You got to hold the power button down.
Yeah,
you
do.
And then you're good.
Well, that's the same way with PlayStation 2. If you ever get one and it doesn't do it, it's stuck on component or something like that, or RGB.
Oh, yeah.
You hold down the power button and it resets back to component settings or composite instead of that. The same way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Probably. Actually, I don't know. I might try to trade it for something I need. I'm sure there's plenty of people want it. It's a 320 gigabyte slim, so it's a model that people would want. Not a super slim, which sounds like a plane taking off.
Yeah, mine doesn't sound too bad, but I have so much digital on PS3 that I very rarely have a disc in it anymore.
My PS3 game. Oh yeah, it's back there. I can't really see it. My collection of physical PS3 games is very small. It's maybe 10 games.
Oh, I have quite a big collection. Well, not a huge collection. I have quite a few games, but for some reason I have a ton digitally. I don't know if it's PlayStation Plus or if it was review copies or what it was that kind of threw me into having so many. I got a terabyte hard drive in it, and it's probably got about 700 gigs of games on it. I'm not a digital hoarder or anything. So
I like the digital copies of stuff. Yeah, no, it's good. But
hey, Matt's back. Hey.
I figure.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Something is going on with Discord tonight. It's usually really good, but oh well, it is what it is. But all right, well, we'll get into the news real quick if that's all you got. So, all right.
Yeah, that's all I got in the news.
All right, cool. I wanted to lead off with this story. I thought it was kind of interesting. It was a quote that Go Nintendo published by NIS America. They said in the quote or in the statement, it was in an interview with I think it was a magazine or something like that. But the president of NIS America, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, said, "We started to do more on the Nintendo Switch. SNK Heroines is not the only one. They support us in a good way. Compared to that, Sony is not friendly with small publishers like us. They only care about big Japanese companies. Also, if we simultaneously release a Switch version and a PS4 version of the same title, currently the sales trend to 2-to-1. That means Switch versions sell twice as much as PS4 versions, both physically and digitally. A lot of PS4 titles are coming up, so the market is very competitive. Compared to that, the Switch market still has a lot of room for publishers to make money.
That just means that the Switch store still doesn't have as much as the PS4 store does.
That's true.
That's part of why everyone's making money there, is because you can be more visible,
Yep.
and it's getting less and less over time.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that Sony isn't terrible to publishers. I have no idea.
I don't know, but what's that, man?
I think also the Switch lends itself to splurge purchases for $10.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's like your cell phone. Like, how many people were just like, I'll buy that $2 cell phone.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's also way easier to see stuff in the Switch store than it is the PlayStation store, because you have less layers to go through. Like, you boot up the Switch store and just like, boom, here's the new games for this week or whatever, and it still stays chronological, or you can go and sort it a few different ways and find some things. Whereas with the PlayStation store, you have a lot more categories and things that you kind of have to look through to find stuff first.
Well, and I think a lot of people have just kind of taken the attitude like I have with the Switch. It's just like, well, I can get it on PlayStation 4 or I can get it on Switch. They both look the same. They both play the same. They both have the same content. I'm going to get it on the Switch because not only can I play it on the TV, but I can take it with me and play it on the go or whatever like that you can't do on the PlayStation 4. And, now that Sony's kind of taken the Vita and went, we don't care. There was a lot of cross-buy. That was one of the things that I really liked about the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and the Vita, was there was a lot of cross-buy stuff. So I could pay one thing and get it on both systems. Or sometimes I would be fine to double dip. I didn't care. If it was a cool game, it had cross-save compatibility and stuff like that, then I would go for it. But, now that Sony's kind of pushed the Vita away, which I don't understand why, there is still a good fan base of Vita people out there. But I get it's not for everybody. Yeah, it didn't sell enough for them.
So it's not worth them to be able to keep up with it.
Speaking of not selling enough, the Spyro Trilogy Remastered has been announced. HD. I mean, it looks really pretty. It
looks nice. I've never played a Spyro game.
Oh, really? I've played them all on PlayStation 1, and this is the trilogy that's all three has been on the PlayStation 1. So it's Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. They're all really good games, and this really looks very good and detailed. I don't know if I'll buy it or not. Maybe someday down the road I will.
If Crash Bandicoot's any indications, probably going to sell all right.
Yeah, it's going to sell fine. People on the internet, when it was announced, people went absolutely nuts for it. September 21st is when it's going to be released. Most sites are saying PS4, Xbox One, but I actually saw a couple of UK sites show that it was actually listed on the Nintendo store. But nobody knows if that was just a mistake or if it's coming out at the same time or if it's even coming out at all. They have never officially said that it's coming out on the Switch. I can't imagine it not. It may just be one of those ones that it's not coming out at launch on the Switch.
Yeah, it could be just coming out later or something.
Yeah, it could be. And that may be one of those ones that I'm like, yeah, I'd like to play it. I'll wait and hang on, get it on the Switch or something like that. But one that don't know if I'm going to get day one or not. I'm looking forward to it. Marvel's Spider-Man.
I'm getting this day one. This looks amazing.
It looks amazing.
If you've looked at the stuff on Game Informer since they've been putting out more and more stuff of it, and their impressions of actually playing it, that paired with some of the actual video footage of it, sounds like just swinging around is the best it's ever been since PS2.
Yeah, and I want to know. That all sounds really cool to me. I'm very excited for that, and it looks really good.
Have you heard
but
the descriptions of what you're actually doing? For controls wise, because it's really fun sounding.
Yeah, I mean, it all sounds really fun. I want to know how much. I want to know how long of a story it is, and I want more story details than anything.
Well, if it's a big open kind of New York City that you're going to swing around in, even if the story isn't super long, you probably take a lot of time just having fun swinging around doing nothing.
I'm hoping
because it's just fun.
I'm hoping there's side
Carboling.
missions
Hope so.
and tons of side missions. Yeah, and
But it looks really, really cool. I
It
definitely want
does.
to get this right away.
it does look really, really cool.
Unless it gets reviews that say, "Oh, it looked cool, but it's terrible." That'd be the only thing that stops.
I can't imagine it being terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of the quote unquote terrible Spider-Man games were fun to play. The one on the Dreamcast was really fun. The one in 2004 on the PS2, I think it was Spider-Man 2. I think is still the one that everybody. I can't remember if that's Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2. That's
The thing
still
that I
the one.
like that they're saying about this one is that he's been Spider-Man for 8 years, so
Right.
he can do all the cool stuff, which is I think more fun than going an origin story route with it.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, I'm hoping you don't have to unlock it powers or anything crazy like that, because that's. I don't know. I feel like for those
They've
established
said
superhero
there
games,
are stuff that you can unlock, like costumes and stuff, and I
Well,
think
see, that's
kind
fun.
of additions to powers, but you start off with a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that sounded like from the interviews that I've heard. That
Well, let me
that's kind
see
of what they're going
here. Mr. Negative and Kingpin have been revealed as villains. Let's see. While not part of the main game, there is DLC with story content. First of 3 planned DLC packs will involve Black Cat. I'm trying to see.
They've said, I don't know if it's in this IGN article, but they've said that you will be playing as Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Mary Jane.
Yep. Yeah, Peter and
Those are
MJ.
confirmed.
Yep.
So I wouldn't doubt there might even be a couple other ones, especially once they get into like DLC stuff. They're
Peter
like,
Parker.
hey, you can play as this person now.
Could be.
Peter Porker.
No, that's different.
It's like.
Hey, that'd be funny.
If nothing else, they've nailed the look of this game. It's
Yeah.
got a really nice
It
look to
looks so good.
It does. It does. I'm excited to play it. I love comic book movies. I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan, but I enjoy
Spider-Man.
I enjoy those kind of games, and I played them
Yeah.
all on the PS2 and and the PS3. I even played the movie PS4 Amazing
Yeah.
Spider-Man game, and it was okay. I mean, it was nothing that I would go out
I'm
and would
hoping
have bought.
that this
But
is kind of like the Arkham game for Spider-Man,
That's-
where they nail the
Mhm.
feeling of being the character. So you're not going to feel it's not going to be the same as Batman because you're a different character. But if they nail the feeling of I'm Spider-Man swinging around, zipping into people, doing all crazy backflips over dudes while I punch them and web them up and all sorts of crazy stuff,
yeah.
that's what I want, and I hope they get it as good as it looks because it looks really nice.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really do. And they said that you were talking about how big the city was. It says here in this article that Insomniac went to great lengths to create a realistic version of New York City with landmarks and the familiar city layout. They also have the Wakanda Embassy, Avenger Tower, Sanctum Sanctorum. And they haven't confirmed that you're going to meet any other characters in the Marvel universe. But with all those kind of things in there,
From the hints that they were saying kind of in some interviews and stuff, it sounds like those are just there to kind of be
Yeah.
like, hey, he exists in this world, but most of the stuff will be Spider-Man things.
Yeah.
So even if you just restrict it to Spider-Man villains and characters, there's a ton of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
but you said like character fleshing out like the Arkham series, but you also said there's all those fun locations that they put in there.
Yeah.
So it's probably not far fetched to also like the Arkham games. See, like if you go to the tower at the right time, you'll find Tony Stark and like add him to your like superhero like cell phone or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of cell phones, you can interact with citizens and get selfies and like do finger guns and stuff with people just with some dumb random thing they threw in there. Like, man, if it's as fun and stupid as like Saints Row the Third with all the weird power driver stuff you could do to just random people on the street.
Oh,
But this is
yeah.
more positive. You're not hurting people. You're just
Exactly,
having
yeah.
fun.
I just want car bowling.
Do that.
Car bowling or villain bowling. Because that was my favorite thing in the last Spider-Man game. Because the physics when you're swinging was slightly off. So you just start building up lots of momentum and just do like a swinging dive kick and you just like see how far you can like
Yeah.
kick cars and cause mayhem.
I mean, for like, I don't. If anyone listening hasn't heard of it, like for controls for Spider-Man. They've described it like even down to like button presses. If you go into some of the Game Informer stuff on their podcast, they were talking about it. But it's like you have like a button that's like the go button. So if you're on the ground, it's sprint. But if you're in the air, that's what lets you do your swings. Then you have another button that does like straight zip line, kind of like you hit a point and you go straight towards it, kind of a move. If you're free falling, you can click in the stick to do like a nose dive. There's like some other stuff about launching off the tops of buildings. And the way they talk about it is they basically don't want Spider-Man to stop. So if you're swinging and you get into a building, depending on what angle you hit it, like start running up or along the wall, and then you can launch off of that and do all sorts of different stuff from it. So it's kind of like ultimate Spidey parkour.
Yeah.
If they nail that, then man, I'll just play that and forget the story. I'll just run around the city.
Yeah. I definitely pre-ordered it, because on Amazon to get the discount and everything like that, because $47.99.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time until like the 7th of September.
Yeah,
so.
Well, and I don't see anything. I wouldn't see any reason why, unless something just absolutely was just atrocious with it, which I don't see. Even Insomniac at their worst is still pretty good stuff. Yeah, I mean,
they do pretty good with putting out games that work.
Yeah. I mean,
did they make Infamous?
They did.
No,
that was Sucker Punch.
No.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. No.
They did like Ratchet and Clank. They did
Sunset Overdrive.
They did the Resistance shooter games, which is a different kind of game, but they did those.
And Sunset Overdrive
and
was not the greatest game in the world, but it was still fun, and I can see a lot of those physics within Spider-Man, kind of cut their teeth on Sunset Overdrive, because you did a lot of the. Not so much swinging, but there was a lot of this
weird. They did a bunch of like sort of flying through the air.
Weird stuff. I can't even. Yeah, can't even.
I can see where they'd start with that and be like, oh, okay, how can we adapt this into Spider-Man's moveset, and then start there, and then just end up with something completely different by the time you're done. But
it'll be a good man. It's like really fall for me is not too full. Red Dead, this.
Well, it's funny is like everybody's getting out of the way of Red Dead. Like after Red Dead, like Call of Duty is before Red Dead.
Yeah.
Summer is those. I've always said it's summer. There too many.
Well, for me, with what I've got pre-ordered, May is going to rip me my wallet a new one, because I've got at least 4 or 5 games coming out in May. On the Switch.
God of War that I want at the end of April, and then I think there's something in May, and then the other one
the only 2 games
really
I have
looking forward to is June, is Vampire.
Yeah, the only 2 games I had pre-ordered are Red Dead and the new Metro game.
I have a bunch pre-ordered on Amazon. Way too many pre-orders.
If I pre-order, it's usually like a week before when reviews are out, and I'm like, okay, I'll pre-order it to get the discount.
Yeah.
I almost pre-ordered Far Cry 5. This close. I still had a couple days at Best Buy, and I was like, I'll just wait till
that was a good call, I think.
Yeah.
But I understand it's like a great game, but I've also heard that it's like, but if you like to actually do anything aside from killing people, like a murder hobo,
there's not much.
You can't do anything. Like the game forces you into murder hobo.
Well,
like there's so many videos.
Wait a minute, murder hobo. Ding ding ding.
You've never heard murder hobo before? Well, I guess it's more of a D&D term than.
Yeah, that's all D&D. Everybody in D&D is a murder hobo, but it's just like. So many videos are like, hey, so I was trying to do the fishing challenges where you catch the biggest trout, and it just shows him out in the lake doing nothing. There's no one around. All of a sudden, his bear or whatever just is like, huh? Someone's nearby, and the bear would just take off through the lake to the other side. Yeah, and it's just really, Gabe, you can't even just chill out for 10 minutes and just let people unwind a bit.
There's some other stuff I'm interested in that's coming out. I'm trying to that Sega Genesis collection that's coming out, but
my buddy is playing Far Cry 4 with co-op with another buddy, and I was like, okay, so how is it? He's like, if you like the Far Cry series, you will like this. If you do not like Far Cry, you will not like this. And I'm like, well, I do not like Far Cry, so I will not like this.
There we go.
Let me see here.
It sounds like it's Far Cry again. It's just a new setting that happens to be America this time.
Here in America.
Yeah.
Fly a plane.
Yeah.
It sounds like
that's
Far
fine.
Cry 4 is better than Far Cry 5 in a lot of aspects, although there's a few things about 5 that people have said that sounds good, like getting rid of towers.
Yeah.
But
in exotic Montana.
if you like the Far Cry games, then sure.
Let's see. I'm just looking through my list here. July, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, Owlboy.
Pillars of Eternity 2. That's in May.
Owlboy comes out in May. I'm not quite set on Titan Quest, but I have it. Pillars of Eternity, I have it on pre-order for the Switch. Legends of K, that pre-ordered on the Switch.
Pillars of Eternity is coming out on Switch?
Yep. Shantae.
Heck, there's no way I play that game there. That's a PC game all the way.
Yeah.
All the RPG menu crate. Way better.
That's right. The original Sin 2 consoles as well in August.
Let's see. Project Octopath is July. Battle Chasers is May. Legend of Kai is May. Monster Boy, that's in September. I have 18 things on pre-order right now. All of them are
good Lord.
All of them are games except one thing. Wait, I take that back. That's an open order. I take it back. It's 14. It's 14 games on pre-order.
Yeah. Dang.
What do you have pre-ordered that's not a video game?
Well, I don't. I'm just looking through my open orders, and I've got and they haven't shipped some things yet, so it's still technically.
He pre-ordered some like towels or something.
Yeah.
What?
Cat Breeze refill pads are waiting to ship, and my dishwasher detergent is waiting to ship. But I'm getting Yonder. The Cloud Catcher Chronicles is coming to Switch. I'm not sure when that's coming out, but that's not available. I pre-ordered it. It's not available on Amazon anymore. So weird. That's why I've went ahead and just dropped. No, I think they just don't know how many copies they're going to have. So I just go ahead and just pre-order everything because they don't charge. So I just pre-order everything and then I filter through. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll get it. Or it'll be like I'll pay it off with a gift card and forget about it, and Nino Cooney will just show up in the mail one day, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I pre-ordered this game." Kind of like that, but it's weird. Anyway, Microsoft pulled a Johnson the other day and said that the Inside Xbox Episode 2 will be next week, and it will have a big update on backwards compatibility. And then they walked out of the room. That was all they said. Yeah, and
this is the same thing that bugs me, where it's like they put out 15 seconds of a movie trailer
the day
before they put out the full trailer that's like 3 minutes long. Like, dude, just
bring it
put
out.
The trailer.
Which that reminds me, we're finally getting a Solo trailer tonight during.
Although
Idol.
The thing that bugs me even more than that is when they put the little 5-10 second preview of a trailer on the very beginning of the trailer because they figured the YouTube kids don't have good enough attention span. Like, no, don't do that. Stop ruining the trailer. Just play it.
But apparently, Xbox or Microsoft has said they're going to have an announcement of one of our most common requested original Xbox backwards compatibility games. So I don't know what that means. I don't know. A lot of people are saying, it's Shenmue 2. It's I can't. I don't know. Been going through my mind on. I don't know. I really don't.
I think it would have to be something pretty popular. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
They keep talking about I'm
is
blanking
Fable backwards
here.
compatible?
Bringing back the original controller, right?
Yeah, they were bringing it back. You can get them at GameStop at the end of the month. Hyperkin is making that's the only place you can get them.
But it makes me wonder, like, if they're gonna go super retro stuff like that, try to if they're doing the hardware support maybe or stuff like that, maybe they're trying to bring back online services for those old games.
Well, I mean, I guess it could be. I don't know. Crimson Sky is already backwards compatible.
Fusion Frenzy.
I think it's already backwards compatible too. But I can't imagine it. I can't imagine Fusion Frenzy being one of their most requested.
I'm trying to think of top 10, top 15 Xbox games, and outside of top 10, I'm like, well, I don't really can't think of anything else.
Shenmue 2 is the only one that I can think of. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah,
but I can't imagine it being the most requested. it has to be something that's popular for across the
There
board,
we go.
and
There we
Shenmue
go.
is
That's the
not
thing we're
popular
missing.
across the board.
All
They're
PlayStation 2 games are now playable on Xbox One.
And they just walk out and go. Walk away.
Everybody's like, what?
What? How's this possible?
Or they're bringing back the original Xbox 360 dashboard as like a retro skin
With the
for
blades?
Xbox One.
Gosh.
Yeah, because I still remember when everybody was so mad they got rid of blades for
Yeah,
whatever they,
I
else they
remember
had on
that.
360. Like, bring back the blades. Blah, blah.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that maybe they're adding achievements to original Xbox games. But that to me, I don't see where that would be a part of backwards. I mean, I guess it could be part of backwards compatibility, but
I mean, they didn't really have them at the time, so
Yeah.
you'd have to make up new ones.
I can't imagine how much
triggers in there, and I don't know
work
how well
that
that
would
work.
be. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Or that anyone would care, unless you're just a super crazy achievement hunter person,
Yeah.
and you have those to go back to get some. It's like no one's gonna really care that much.
I don't know. We'll find out the 10th. They'll do their little video thing that they do. It's actually a pretty interesting thing if you watched the first one, if you care about Microsoft, Xbox stuff. It's actually not that bad.
What if
Oh god,
you
here we
could
go.
play PlayStation 1 games on the Xbox One?
What if you
Because they have the hardware to emulate it now. Like, it's just a disc. You put it in there, Dunskies. Like,
Dunskies.
it'd be the ultimate, like, undercut to PlayStation. Like, you're not going to do backwards compatibility? We will. Like,
Yeah. Who knows?
And again, we're starting wars in real life with giant corporations.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's how we roll. But, okay, let's see. PlayStation VR got another price drop. The headset camera bundle was $275 now. You can actually get, like, the Doom VR bundle for $300. The Skyrim VR bundle is $349, and these are permanent price drops. They're not a sale.
Yeah.
This is
The Doom one does not have the move controllers.
No,
but the Skyrim one does, like the camera, the move controllers, the game, and the headset.
Yeah. Still
And hey, if you're like me and have none of those pieces, that'd have to be the one you would look at.
Well, yeah. I mean, but I guess you really don't unless you want to use them, you can use a controller, of course. But, I mean, if you want to get the full
Yeah,
VR
but most of the VR
experience, I guess.
stuff, you're going to need that. Otherwise, it's going to be missing out on a lot of the experience.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You're going to have the missing experiences.
You know what? I don't want this. I want the new Vive Pro that's over $1,000, man. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were big on the PlayStation VR. They just did an update on Wipeout for VR, so a lot of people are super excited about that and said it's really cool, but it's still not enough for me to spend $275 for something that I'll probably only use once or twice.
Yeah. I mean, look at it more like, okay, of all the VR options, it's the cheapest, so therefore you'll get the most out of it, even though none of them really have the breadth of games you would want to play. There's a ton of stupid VR things on Steam that are really cheap and terrible, but out of all the things there's a few that you'd really, really want to play, and you're not going to want to do it all the time, probably.
Yeah.
So.
Did you guys see that they now have a payment plan set up for the first HTC Vive?
No, I
So
don't
apparently
know
you can go in and do it's like $45 a month or something like that, and it's not the Pro, it's the current model that's out. But instead of paying for all $600 at once or whatever crazy amount it is right now, you could break it down into monthly installments for 2 years.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, that's not a bad idea at all. I mean,
the only problem with that, well, I guess most people who are going to be able to, or who want that, have to have a giant computer rig to run it already, so they probably have the cash to just put down and get the Vive catalog.
I mean, you can, if you go get a used 980 right now and all that other stuff, you build a VR-ready computer for, I think, $800 right now, $900.
Add $800 to that for the graphics card, because you ain't finding no used 980 out there.
I guess they're right now anymore.
No,
it's
too many
crazy
people.
how high they're like double the price of what they originally were.
And that's because everybody is doing that stupid crypto
that's
currency stuff.
PSVR might not be the best option.
Yeah.
But cheapest way to get into VR, unless you want to play with your phone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're into VR, but it's
just wait until VR, the technology catches up where it's like wireless and it's nicer, and you actually have stuff you want to play on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that there's things that I've seen on PlayStation VR that I go, I would like to try that, but there's nothing that has me that I have to have it.
No system seller.
No.
And there's some stuff that's like, yeah, that'd be cool. Sure, I'd play Skyrim for a couple hours in VR. Why not? But I'm not gonna go through the whole game again.
It's like I said. It's like I've said before on here. It's plus I need to try it out because I get motion sickness like nobody's business, and I'm definitely not spending $300 on something and turn around and can never wear it because
okay, we're good. Put me back in.
I've heard the PSVR also does not work well with people with glasses.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
The way the ear cups are.
Yeah. And see, that would be a big no-go for me too. But if
you got options.
Yeah, you got options out there.
That's why it's cool. There's a bunch of different headsets that are all working, to get better features than the other ones, and eventually they'll work it all out.
Yep. No Man's Sky will be out for Xbox One this summer, and it will have a large update that will come along with it. It will be free for the PS4 and PC people who own the game, but it will be out on the Xbox One, and it will come with HDR and 4K enhancements for the Xbox One X.
That would be pretty nice. That'd be a cool game.
That would definitely be a cool game. I guess they're
still
calling
a boring game after a while.
Yeah. They're calling it No Man's Sky Next is technically what they're calling it. I don't know. They haven't said too much about what's in the update.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume it's gonna be kind of like the last time that they did a big update. It's gonna be about that amount of stuff. We just don't know what stuff will be.
And it's totally free for like I said, for previous owners, which is nice. You don't have to plump down. If you already have it, which I still have my copy.
That's kind of what they've been doing so far. So it's cool that they're continuing to do that this late in the game. Yep. And I'd forgotten that it wasn't even on Xbox One until this came out. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll sell more copies. Good for everybody.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And one just last PSA announcement, and the only reason I say this is I usually don't buy the limited run games, but they are starting to do Switch releases for limited run games now. Their first one is Thimbleweed Park. They're actually taking pre-orders on it. And
about a week.
Yeah, you got a week left. This Friday is when it cuts off, which is the Friday the 13th.
But the response has been really good.
Yeah, the response has been really well. Limited Run said that the responses have been so good with the pre-orders that if they have this good of a response, they're going to put their game Saturday Morning RPG physically on the Switch. If that game sells as well as this one does, it will fund a Saturday Morning RPG 2. Without having to do a Kickstarter or anything like that.
The funny thing is that game is super cheap digitally, like $5 or $10, and yet the physical copy for PS4 and Vita, very expensive.
Yep, yeah, it was
it is top 5 probably for games.
And and I've talked with the limited run guys and said, are you going to do pre-orders every time for the Switch games? Because the Switch is kind of the hot thing right now.
Hot ticket.
And they said if the reception is well with the pre-orders, they will continue to do pre-orders on Switch games. So with as good as this one has done, that sounds to me like you will be able to. They'll probably do pre-orders on them. So if it's a game that you would ever considered buying, it's $35 physically, but that comes with an instruction manual and full colored cover front and back. So you get a little bit for your money. I would consider going to limited run games and buying it, especially if there's anything coming down the road that you want. I know they're doing Mercenary Kings, they're doing Saturday Morning RPG, they're doing Flintlock, and then this one. And they just
Flint Hook
or Flint Hook. I keep saying Flint Rock. I don't know why I do that. And they said that there was 2 more that they've already signed that they can't say who it is yet. One of them is a very popular game and a lot of people's wanting. Rumor is it's Golf Story.
But not Shantae?
No. Well, Xseed is bringing out Shantae. They're bringing out, so I don't know if they're going to bring that old one out or not. That's some people are saying that limited run might do that. But if you're into physical games on the Switch, check them out and go and support them, because the more people that pre-order it, the more likely that they're not going to limit it to 2,500 copies like they usually do, and everybody gangbusts on it and sells out in 5 minutes, and somebody doesn't get it.
Hopefully they can actually fulfill the pre-orders and stuff, since they haven't really done them.
Well, they will be able to. Nintendo has no limit, and they have no... See, Sony says you have to have at least 2,500 copies. Nintendo says you could print 2,500 copies, you could print 10,000 copies, you could print 2 copies. It doesn't matter to us. Yeah. So... that won't be a problem. But if you pre-order it now, you won't get it for 2 or 3 months, because they have whatever they pre-order, that's what they're making, and that's it. Which is the way I said limited run should have always done that. But with Sony having minimum orders of 2,500, they're afraid to go too deep into that, and then be stuck with a lot of product.
Working out, and then this is just giving more. They're giving themselves a bigger catalog.
And I like the Switch physical games, so this is a no-brainer for me. But I don't want to have to fight somebody for it. This is the first time that I ever actually logged onto the limited run site 5 minutes after it went up and went, oh look, I can just go beep bop bop, and I've got a copy. I don't have to put it in my cart and then start to check out, and then it disappears because Joe Blow was faster than me of checking out. And that happened to me with 3 different games, and I finally said,
I've missed out on a couple of things too that I was interested in. Same sort of thing, is logged in, the site was getting hammered. I want to buy this, add to my cart.
And once they said we're doing pre-orders, I'm like, fine, I will do the pre-orders. But if you're doing, they did the limited edition and it's sold out like that, and I'm not. But if you're not going to do pre-orders on them, I'm not going to try to fight somebody for it. It's just it was.
And some of this stuff sells out, like the Munch's Odyssey for Vita, that collector's edition. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then it was like under a minute, bro.
Yeah. Well, I wanted the Darius Burst and the Wonder Boy collector's editions, and they just went crazy. I couldn't even blink before they were gone. Add it to cart, go to PayPal. Before I got to PayPal, it's gone. And all I did was 2 clicks. It's like, what the crap? But yeah, so support that if you're into the physical games, and then everybody. It's like I heard a guy that they do videos for toys, history of toys and stuff, and he ends every video with, if you go to this, if you pick up a new toy and you find another one on the shelf, leave it for the next guy. Don't buy both of them. Don't be that guy. Yeah. So then go pre-order.
10 of them in stock. I'll buy 10.
It makes me wonder though, because the big game publishers and people like that, they're probably loving the digital distribution, because they can either charge a little bit less, or they can still charge $60 and just make more profit.
Right.
It makes me wonder if they're for the mid and lower volume games, that they'll just off put the manufacturing process to people like limited run games, where it's like, we're not going to make we're only going to do digital copy, but we'll work with you and you can buy them from us. So that way on our end it's pure profit, but on your end, you're responsible for that.
I don't know. The way I understand it is limited run will go to a publisher and say, we want to publish your game. Here's how many that we're allowed to publish on, the minimum that we could publish, and that's what we're going to go with. And a lot of companies either go yay or nay. And Limited Run says this is how much it's going to cost, this is how much it's going to cost to print, and this is what we make, this is what you make, do you want to do it? And that's why you see a lot of smaller games. You don't see big games doing it.
Things are,
because I think bigger companies can push out 10 million copies of a game, and if it doesn't sell for 5 years, it's no big loss to them because Walmart already went ahead and bought 10 billion copies of it and paid for it. That's what a lot of people forget. They think, well, I'm going to go to the store and I'm not going to buy X game because I don't want that company to get profit from it. Well, they've already got profit from it because Walmart or GameStop said we will buy 50 million copies of this game and we will stock them in our stores. You're not giving EA your money, you're giving the stores their money, and they're only making about $4 a game. They're not really making a ton of money.
It gets crazier because there's other smaller special game. They're pretty good. And there's a couple other companies too that are like, here, we're releasing limited releases too. And I'm like,
yeah, you're starting to get into there's
imitators. That's the best way.
What is it? There's one called I want to say soft batch, but that's not right. Short batch or short. I can't remember the name of it. There's one in Texas that does them too. That apparently Limited Run and friends with that you've kind of seen.
I think isn't that Special Reserve?
Special Reserve, that's it. I keep thinking, I was like, okay, it's some kind of beer or some kind of.
On Facebook, they have like a little dog.
Yeah, that's it. And that's
they're not. Those guys, they haven't put out too much, but they put out stuff that's interesting. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, Limited Run, is they're a pretty interesting story. They're in Apex. They're out of Apex, so they're right down the street from Nathaniel. Literally, he knows he can go knock on their door.
I go raid their warehouse.
Yeah,
Retronauts has a podcast maybe like a month ago where they talked to him. They talk about like how they got started. It's really interesting.
It is really interesting because they were a game publisher. Yeah, that's where Saturday Morning RPG is their game. They developed that game. They made that game, and then they realized that they could make more money publishing other people's digital games. And they want to go back. I was reading the tweets from some of the guys from Limited Run. They want to go back and talk to Sony about doing Limited Run PlayStation 3 prints of games that were only available digital. They actually went to Sega and said we want to print a physical edition of Yakuza 5 since it was digital only on the PlayStation 3, and Sega said no. But so they're going to companies and asking all the time. But they wanted to do some digital of Wii U, but Nintendo won't let them go back and do a console that's not manufactured
there are some
anymore.
Cool opportunities there, and done right, plenty of people get to play the games.
Yeah,
I think it's a cool idea.
I think it's a cool idea too, as long as you don't limit it too much.
Yeah, and if you go back and listen to that podcast, Breach and Clear, they worked on that for someone.
Mm-hmm.
They were like hired to do most of the work, and they talked about the different and how much of like a struggle it was, and they did. I think it sold really well on mobile platforms like iOS. And
iOS, yeah.
Fun other stuff.
I don't know how it did on Vita, but I know a lot of people liked it on Vita. Anything else other than our contest, which I'm checking right now to see how many more days are left on those?
Yeah, that's been it got cross posted on a couple other sites, so we should have some more entries.
Okay, cool. I'm trying
seem to be generally interested.
There's not too much longer left on it, is it?
No, it's not, and I can't remember how many days it is. It may be this week, and I don't even remember. When I push them out a month, I always forget. Yeah. 4 days left. There is 4 days left. So yeah, if you want to get in on it, follow us on Twitter. That's where they're at.
It ends on the 11th or 12th?
Probably the 12th. Ends at 11th at midnight. So 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so you might as well say the 12th. But yeah, so follow us on Twitter. You can find the Gleam leaks where to how to enter those two contests for those two game codes. Gravel and I forget what the other one.
There's plenty. Yeah. I'm gonna slaughter the name of the second.
So, yeah, I can't even say it.
There's 2 great games. Still lots of chances to win. So there's not that many entries. So.
Yep, not too many entries on the one. I know Gravel's there's quite a few, but the other one you probably get a good chance of getting that one. That one's on the that's Steam code on the Gravel is PS4. The other one is a Steam code. So anything else, Matt? You planning on streaming again Wednesday, Thursday?
Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay.
I think Tuesday this week, I'm taking a break because I'm gonna start moving here, and I have some other busy stuff. So for D&D, a friend of mine is gonna start being the DM for a while.
Cool.
But it should still be on Tuesdays, so it'll probably be Wednesday.
All right, cool. I'm going to try to stream sometime this week, maybe the weekend. Like I said, I may stream tonight, depending on. I'm getting kind of hungry. I'll have to go eat dinner, and then maybe I'll stream a little bit before I go to bed. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. So yeah, just follow us on Twitter or subscribe, and you'll know. When or follow us on Twitch, you'll know when we go live. Was you going to say something, Nathaniel?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you looked like you wanted to say something there. So I was like,
Well, I mean, I'll say for those of you watching and listening, you can you can probably tweet at the site there if you want some questions asked. I think maybe John will maybe put them into the show.
Yeah, I can put them into the show. That would be cool. Or you can email. Twitter is @GL_podcast. Mail is mail at the-gamers-lounge.com. As I said the other night on the Back to Bits podcast, I hate that URL, but it was the easiest way to get what we needed. Yeah, it's what we had to get because everybody else is squatting on the easy one. So, and wanting like $500, and I'm like, forget it. I can come up with my own.
TheGamersLounge.biz or something like that.
I tried.
We can always switch over to .tv.
I tried net. I tried edu. I tried org. I tried.
Is there a .pod yet?
Oh man, that would be awesome.
.pod.
.pod. All right, I will stop the recording there. Save as. But yeah, .pod. That would be hilarious.